Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another segment of Feature Friday. Today, I am here with Brian Walls, who is going to give us some insight about his student athlete collegiate experience, his work experience, and how he's going to help student athletes some tips and tricks just to help everyone succeed. So, Brian, thank you so much for being here with us today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here.
I am so excited to talk with you today, and let's just jump right into it. So, where did you go to school and what was your degree in?
Yeah, sure. I went to Wake Forest University, North Carolina. My degree was in health and exercise science.
Okay, and what did you learn from that? Anything in particular? And kind of how did that degree help you manage your time with the sport you played?
Yeah, sure. So I was a scholarship football player. I was offensive lineman. So the body, obviously, that's always been my focus. How do I be able to perform at the highest level possible week in and week out? And I just have always loved studying about the human body. So health and exercise science was a natural course for me. When I was in school, actually prior to entering Wake Forest, I had wanted to go in and be a pre-med major. I thought I'd go into the medical field, and actually I did go into the medical field for a time period, and it was just a lot of fun just learning how to eat right, work out right, sleep right, and, and be my best.
That's essential. Those are like the college keys right there. Eat, sleep, repeat, like 100% easily. But I'm glad that had like an easy transition and success within your football career. So, how was your football career? And I guess who was your toughest opponent you played when you were there?
Yeah, so my football career was like everybody's. It was a great experience. I was fortunate because I went in as a freshman and was one of the few freshmen to make the travel squad. So I got to travel as a freshman at 18, 19 to travel around the country playing in the Superdome and playing against Florida State and Clemson and just have an experience that blew my mind because truth be told, Ashley, I was a skinny offensive lineman. I know that sounds weird, but I was a skinny offensive lineman. But during that time, I went from a skinny offensive lineman of about 250 pounds to being, after my first semester, being about 320 pounds.
Oh my
Being a
god.
much bigger offensive lineman. But toughest opponent, I played in the ACC, so everybody was tough, but the toughest, hands down, was Florida State. That was during the era where they were winning championships left and right, and I honestly have never seen a group of people move so fast in my life.
So they were definitely giving them some, like, Miracle Grow or, like, different food to make 'em move that fast.
Yes, definitely, definitely,
No,
but just a great group of people.
no, that's totally good, and with your experience going through playing football and everything, how did that help you, like, manage your time with your studies and still be successful not only on the field, but in the classroom as well?
Yeah, sure. You know, the first thing that I always reminded myself was that I'm a student first and an athlete second. So that meant the amount of time that I might have been on the practice field or in the weight room, I had to put the equal amount of time in the classroom and in the library or in front of the books. So it just became really important to me that I stressed making sure that I'm up on my chapters, I'm doing the projects, and also understanding that, yeah, I might be traveling from Friday to Sunday, that whatever work that needs to be done, let me get it done early.
Right.
So that way I can either get it to my professor beforehand to proofread it, get back, make corrections, and move forward. I am that person that if you tell me something needs to be done 3 months from now, I finish it in the first month so I
Good.
can just keep proofreading it.
Perfect. Like, that's what you need. You need that dedication, but just to elaborate on that, getting your work done early and just staying on top of your work, how important is it to build your connections with your professors so they trust you and let you, like, go to your games and be successful on the field? Because not only are academics important, but creating that relationship is. So how did that work for you?
Yeah, you know what? The first week of class, I made sure to introduce myself to my professors. That was important. The second thing that I did was I always sat in the front. Now, there's two reasons for that. The first is because I wanted to make an impression. The second, though, really was because of my size. I couldn't sit in the other rows. I had to sit in the front row because I'm 6'4", 6'5". So
Right.
there's not a lot of leg room there.
Right. No, totally makes sense, 100%, but I definitely think, like, relationship-wise and everything, so super important to establish that because you wanna be known as your name, not as anything else, especially at a bigger school. So,
Exactly.
kudos to you for doing that.
Oh,
But how
thanks.
have your studies helped you, I guess, where you are today in your career? You're a financial advisor at Northwestern Mutual.
Mhm.
How did you get there? What led you to wanting to work here?
Yeah, sure. How I got here is a long road. I may not have enough time to
Yeah.
get there, but but first and foremost, how I got here is that I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I
Right,
have started a lot of businesses. Have some businesses have been very successful, some not so much. But I really, at the at the end of it all, it's all about finances. And I realized that from my years of being a business owner many times over, there are a lot of other people that need this education that
right,
really, want to learn. Okay, how do I take an idea to a business plan to then a reality, be it brick and mortar or now everything's virtual? So, create it and then also be able to build money and have it protected, but also grow the money and
right,
learning the ins and outs of it. And how football in particular has really helped me is because I based my entire week off my practice schedule that I had
right,
years and years ago.
right,
So even the way that I break down an entire plan is the same way I would break down a defense, or when I'm looking at, okay, the playbook, this is the playbook of your success in finance.
right,
And this is how we're going to build off of a very basic play and then have it become more elaborate. But we have to start first and foremost with a very basic play. You have to understand the basics
right.
first.
No,
Yeah.
that's important. It's your initial stepping stone, getting, like, your toes wet and just getting into it, so I think that's super important, and elaborating on that, do you specifically work with student athletes and their parents and financially help them, what am I looking for here? Learn and go into college and how to be financially stable and afford it because college nowadays is very expensive, especially if you don't have a scholarship.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is very expensive. So I work with everybody, but I do obviously always have a place in my
Right.
business to always focus on student athletes. And it is very expensive. And it's important, especially when I talk to families, it's important that they understand that not everybody gets a scholarship.
Right.
Not everybody gets a full ride. You could get a partial scholarship and it may cover just tuition, or it may cover just the room and board. But with that, it's always important to have a plan, just the same type of plan that you have for the game. You
Mhm.
got to have that same plan for your finances.
Right.
Because I mean, the average cost of tuition, especially if you're in state, it can be $20,000.
Right.
Not everybody has $20,000 laying around.
Right. I wish.
Exactly.
That would be nice. But no, that makes sense, and I guess to elaborate on, like, the full, partial, or no scholarships at all, do you have any more tips on how anybody can save or, like, look for scholarships or anything, like, outside scholarships, just
Yep.
that individuals can look for?
Oh, for sure, for sure. So the first thing is, and this is actually a playbook from myself because my parents had me do this when I was a freshman in high school, was to create a list. What is that list? Pros and cons. What do you want to still play the game?
Mhm.
What do you want to study? Where do you want to be? Meaning, do you want to stay in state? Do you want to stay on the west side, the east side, central? Do you want to go elsewhere? That's important because then there's going to be dollar signs attached to that.
Right.
Once you know the dollar signs, then it's okay. Let's start putting money away. And the truth be told, we should be a lot sooner. But again, not everybody, time is always of the essence, and the best thing to do is to start now.
Okay.
Um, Once you have some of that down packed, then it's okay. Then let's start to put money away. How much can you put away? And what are the different types of savings tools that are available to you to put away for education? Then the third part is, while you're putting the money away, there's scholarships out there. There's so much money that's out there that goes unused. I
Right.
mean, there are scholarships that are, if you're a left-handed person, that's available to
Right.
you. Scholarship, it's so funny that some of the scholarships that are out there, but they really are there.
Hmm.
And it's important that you meet with a financial team that really works in this particular field,
Right.
and to have connections with others, because some of that money is really just sitting there, and all you have to do is ask.
Right.
And
I
then it
think
gets
that's
attached to
important.
you.
Yeah, because if you don't ask, you're never gonna know, and the worst thing someone could say is no. So,
Exactly.
like you said, you never know until you ask. And then
Exactly.
if you were to go back to your high school or collegiate days, obviously you're very young, still not far from it. What would you teach any student athletes, students, parents, anything about money or financial planning?
Yeah, sure. I would go back to and tell myself, have a full understanding of your scholarship
Right.
first. Understand what it covers, even what it covers during the off season.
Mhm.
Now that's important. If you're not on scholarship, that can be done financially, because there's so much that I didn't realize that as an 18-year-old that I could have been doing,
Right.
that would have really set me 10 years ahead by the time I'm graduating at 22. And, what are some of those plans that, hey, you're 18, your 18-year-old child, this is what they can do. And then the third piece is really to understand that if you're not on a scholarship or you're not on a full ride, that what are the scholarships? What are the opportunities that are there? And not just everything isn't just academic or art based. Sometimes the scholarships are just because you're in a particular zip code, or you have a particular passion about something that you've always done. There's money out there for you, and what can that actually do? And not just for your undergrad, but even for beyond.
Right.
So that way you are exiting college debt free, or at least as minimal debt as possible.
Mhm. I think that's important to highlight, just like you said, just be in the knowing. It's no question's a silly question. You're gonna want all the information because time is money and your money is valuable. You want to make the most of it. So if you're signing something and you don't really know what you're signing, are you doing yourself a service or a disjustice? You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly, Ashley. And it's so interesting, because let's say you're fortunate enough, you're that 1% that gets a full ride, or even that 5% that gets a partial.
right.
This is your first contract. This
Exactly.
is your
Yeah.
first introduction into the world of business, because I think in high school, for the most part, we all play the game for fun. But then when college comes calling, or a recruiter comes calling, and all of a sudden you're thinking, great, I'm playing it for fun. Well, now it changes from fun to business.
Right.
And this is where you need to start reaching out and building up your team. So part of your team is your financial team. Reach out and you'll have a financial advisor.
Mhm.
The other part of your team is a legal team, because now this is a legal binding contract. You're agreeing to play this sport.
You're right. Yeah.
So,
100%.
you know,
100%.
and so it's so important that we all have this conversation, and that with families, to understand that we're here, myself, I and my team, we're here to work on your best behalf. We're not
Mhm.
here to do something that's good for me or somebody else. No,
Right.
it is truly all about you. And that we're going to shoot it straight. This
Mhm.
is this is
Oh,
it. But
yeah.
You really do need to start thinking more like a business person,
Mhm,
and especially in this new world with NIL.
mhm.
That's a game changer. And when I played back in the long many years ago in the 90s, we didn't have that. I couldn't work because of my scholarship. I couldn't do an internship
Mhm.
because of my scholarship. There were a lot of rules. It was really
Right.
archaic. But now with NIL, you can get paid, and while you're in school playing the sport that you love, and so it's there's so much more that we really need to sit down and plan for.
Right.
um and because the worst thing, and I hate to see and hear stories like this where somebody got a great NIL deal
Mhm.
and they just blew the money away.
Right.
That's no, that
Yeah.
that's that should not be the case.
100%. And I think it's important to highlight what you said, that you're here to help, you're not here to take away. Like, you are a resource that
Mhm.
people have and can use to help benefit them, to help grow as an individual and have success. So, why did Northwestern Mutual decide to become a sponsor with Rising Stars Football Academy?
Yeah, sure. Well, part of it is the fact that we believe in the holistic person.
Mhm.
The benefit of athletics with education and then family, it's everything. It's
Right.
really what we're all about. It also helps when you have somebody like myself who sports has been such a powerful uh, building block within my own professional and personal life.
Right.
But Northwestern Mutual is a big believer and a backer of the education that is found within playing athletics. And then Rising Stars is unique in the fact that, hey, we're adding Rising Stars is adding the financial education piece, is adding the mental health education piece,
Right.
adding the academic, because when it comes to still wanting to play your game, if you're academically strong, you become a hot commodity in the world of
Right.
college sports.
Oh, 100%.
you know, and that's what it's all about. So if you have a GPA of 3.0 and higher, and you're good at your sport, everybody's going to come knocking at the door.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yep. Oh,
so
100%.
that's and that goes back to the planning. Really, freshman year is a powerful year, but if the sooner you do it, the better you are.
Right.
To really understand, like, oh, if I have a GPA of 3.5 and I'm a pretty good athlete, yeah, you can probably negotiate and get some
Right.
schools that'll say, we want to talk to you.
100%. Yep. No, but that's good to hear, that's good to know, and I'm glad all our morals, like, line up, and obviously we don't do the same thing, but we come together because we're 2 different resources. We care about what we do, and we wanna see people succeed. That's just the end goal here. So, how can people reach out to you and get in contact with you if they have any questions, either through your email, phone number, social media, anything?
Yeah, sure, sure. The easiest way is actually to put my name, Brian Walls, financial advisor, right in a Google search, and you're going to come up. You're going to see my Facebook page, my LinkedIn page. You'll also come across my website, which is briankwalls .nm.com. That's also my website. Really easy to find me that way, and you'll be able to email me, and you'll see my work number, which is the best way to reach me. You know, I always like to say I'm a real easy guy to find.
That's a good thing.
It is. It really is. And I'm always happy to have a conversation with families, with student athletes,
Right.
to start preparing for that next level,
Mhm.
uh, because it is a transition for everybody.
100%. Easily, yeah. Whether you're the first one in your family going to your family's already been, it's your stepping stone, and how are you are the leader of your journey. How are you gonna put it in your own hands? You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I love how you put that, because being the leader of your own journey, as an athlete, a lot of times we always have our coaches tell us what to do.
Mhm.
Now it's, especially once we graduate and we move on to the next level, now we have to tell ourselves what we're
Right.
going to do.
100%.
And that's such a big change up. And so, but it's important to build a team, and that's, with any of us that play a team sport, especially like football, having the team only helps propel you to the level where you want to be.
Mhm.
And you want to make sure that you are working with a group of people that first and foremost always have your best interests at heart. Secondly, will be as motivated as you are,
Right.
and that's really going to be a major stepping stone for yourself. And then also that they're also working with a team that's going to help push you and put you in the best situation possible.
100%. I couldn't have said it better myself because you wanna be around people that are gonna push you to not only be your best, but as a whole collective team, have
Mhm.
that success too and obviously win. That's
Yeah.
that's the goal, but we learn lessons along the way, and like you said, I think all the information you gave today was great. It was so good talking to you. Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
Oh, just I can't wait to be able to talk to and work with everybody. Looking forward to having a great season, especially for those that are getting gearing up for your off-season workouts. This is the season right here. You
Mhm.
win and lose in the off-season.
Right.
So,
100%. This is where we grind it out, where you put in the work, you put in the sweat, and you get your results then.
oh, definitely,
But I
definitely.
thank you so much for speaking with me today. I'm so excited to work with you. Look forward to seeing where everything goes, and best of luck.
Thanks. Hey, best of luck to you too, Ashley. Looking forward to working with you.
Thank you.